live on December 10th, believe it or not. We are 2 weeks away from Christmas Eve. Crazy. Really goes by fast. And we're here with a little bit different of a stream. We're kind of giving respect, or I don't know what the right word is. We're acknowledging our listener leagues, at least two of them, two of our listener leagues here. And our listener dynasty leagues. We probably should have done a couple more of these throughout the year, but things get busy and stuff like that, especially during football season. And just kind of going over, see how they all went, how it all shaked out, and just kind of showing appreciation for everyone. Hopefully a lot of them will join us, or some of them will join us, and obviously give better context to the trades they made and the moves they made and their thought process and all of that. I always have a hard time remembering. I know Kevin is here. I always have a hard time remembering like who YouTube name to Discord name to sleeper name. So if you can help me out with that, that would be great. I know some of you out there for sure, but yeah, we're gonna kind of just hop right into it with the Poseidon League overall. So obviously we're heading into the fantasy playoffs, which is awesome. And you made it in that league, so congrats to you. Almost you were the third seed, right? Yeah, third seed.
Yeah, just couldn't quite catch the old man.
Couldn't quite catch him. Yeah, he had we'll be talking about his teams a little bit, not too much. And we probably, we'll dedicate a little bit of time to our teams as well, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about our own teams. But more just kind of looking at how the league shaked out. So you can see kind of the playoff bracket here. I'm sharing the screen. We got Brando and our dad made it to got the first round bye. So that was awesome to see. We had our friend or family, Brandon, Nipsey Hussle, Blackfeet Dan, who's Meatball. And they are matching up that's the 4th and 5th seed there. And then David, who snuck into the playoffs as the 6th seed. I think he was, I don't know, at one point he was like on the outside looking in, but I feel like the last 3-4 weeks or so, he's kind of been on the outside looking in, maybe even longer. And he's even shocked that he made it. So he somehow made it in. I shouldn't say somehow, but he made it in and beat out Idol in the last week there and clinched that 6th seed. And now he gets to play you. So congratulations. And hopefully he beats you. No, I'm not. I have no rooting interest. So, but we'll start off with the number 1 seed here, Brando, and just kind of going through his team. He went 24-4. We do play against the league median, so that's why you're seeing 28, matchup or 28 points or whatever there. It's 2 per week. So he only lost out on 4, which is pretty crazy. That's a really good year here. And I was kind of looking at Brando's team, kind of preparing for this, and like, not to say like it's not a good team or anything. It is a really good team, but I was a little bit surprised like that he did that well. Like he was kind of clear cut better than everyone else. Like he had 200 points more than you, who I think is the second, than Dad, who's the second highest scorer. He cleared him by 200 points. And I was like, yeah, damn. So this is Brando's team here. You can see, I think it's all kind of in there. And set his starting lineup, and we play in very deep leagues, guys. This is a 12-team start 12. It gets tough, man, during bye weeks who you're starting. Like, I think a lot of people are not used to this style of league, and you're kind of used to the traditional, like, all right, give me 2-3 studs and I'm going to win. It's like, no, man, you got to fill out a roster, and it gets tough. And looking at Brando's here, he's pretty good. He's pretty good here. What do you think about his team overall?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, really good. And I mean, the best of the best, like you said, like, outscored everyone by, or, the second highest score by 200 points. Like, super impressive. He didn't have like a cakewalk of matchups either, like Dad did. No, I'm just kidding. No, just looking at the points against, like, very competitive still. It's not like he got lucky in a ton of matchups, and it is kind of interesting to see, like, I mean, like it's a super flex league. So first thing I always look at is like, all right, who are his quarterbacks, And obviously Stafford was a huge win for him to get him later in the draft. Oh, actually looks like he traded.
I traded him.
You traded him, Stafford. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I can get into that a little bit because I did kind of go and look at all the trades that were made. And so yeah, Brando made I didn't include any trades that were just like a lot of startup or rookie pick trades, like picks for picks and stuff. It was mostly just players, but he made like six trades, I believe, unless I missed one with involving players. And yeah, the one he sent me, this was back on September 17th, and I picked up the phone and I smashed accept. He straight up he offered me Jackson Dart. This is before Jackson Dart was starting for Matthew Stafford. And I said, yeah, I'm going to take that, that was what, the third week of the season, I think.
Yeah. I think, obviously so like his two starters this week, or just probably for a good chunk of the season. Well, I mean, his three main quarterbacks are Stafford, Tua, and Purdy. Obviously, we know Purdy wasn't playing a lot for the majority of the season. And so he navigated that really, really well, obviously. I do remember him, after Purdy went down, I get the leagues kind of mixed up. So I'm pretty sure just seeing that he had Purdy and he made that trade with you for Dart, I think he offered me Dart for Justin Fields. I think that was the same league. Because I don't have Fields in the other one. Yeah. So anyways, and I remember just being kind of like, nah, I'm just going to write it out with Fields. Just because he was already playing well. And it was kind of like, I don't want to kneecap myself as far as who I considered my third starting quarterback. And didn't feel super great about I guess I was basically starting Josh Allen and Jordan Love, but I still wanted that huge upside that Fields offered. Obviously that turned out to not be good, so good on you for getting Stafford for Dart, you pushed your chips in at the right time, getting rid of who was probably a late first round pick, and that really worked out. And I mean, looking at the rest of his team, obviously, CMC, heavy hitter, Achane, it's good for him for surviving as long as he did. He has Evans in his starting lineup. He had Rashee Rice, who didn't start for the first 6 weeks.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Yeah. So he navigated the playing field really well. Obviously, Godwin. Jake Ferguson being super important through that first.
That was
half.
Part of a trade. Well, that was part of a trade too. He actually. So what's interesting about Brando's team is that his first two trades were more towards not competing this year. He traded away Stephon Diggs, Zach Charbonnet, a 25 fourth and a 25 third, and he got a first back for all of that. And then he traded away Garrett Wilson and a third for 2 firsts. So his first two trades were acquiring picks. He got rid of Garrett Wilson and Diggs, who are two, Garrett Wilson, I know he's been hurt, but he started off well. Diggs has been definitely a starter in this league. And then he made some moves. He got Achane in a trade where he traded away Derrick Henry and Tyler Warren, which was interesting. He traded away Derrick Henry, Tyler Warren, and a 26 second for K-Dot and Achane and a third. So I think that was a pretty relatively even trade there. So then he did the Dart for Stafford trade. And yeah, he only got Ferguson on the 26th of November. So he just got Ferguson a couple of weeks ago. And then he had JSN on his team, and he traded away JSN for Devontae Adams and Rashee Rice just a couple of weeks ago. So, Teddy, no, we're not talking basketball. So sorry. So he had JSN on his team. So that is a pretty big piece that's missing from his story and stuff. But his team overall, yeah, like it survived. It survived, Lamb missing some time, Juwan Jennings missing time, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, we talked about, and other things. And he doesn't have a lot of depth, right? But at this point, you don't really need that. You just need to fill out a starting roster. So I think, he has to be the favorite. I think he definitely has like the best team from top to bottom in terms of the starting lineup. But if maybe one of these guys get hurt, this week he could be hurting a little bit. But that's everyone, right? It's definitely everyone. He had a good rookie draft. He drafted Tyler Warren, Jackson Dart, Jaden Higgins, Tyler Shuck. So he got like, Shuck's been definitely a starter now in Superflex. Tyler Warren's been awesome. Jackson Dart was awesome. Jaden Higgins is now coming on. So, yeah, that's a pretty good rookie draft as well there. So, I know we could spend like each and every team and diving into them, but again, as long as all these guys that have questionable tags in his starting lineup kind of play, I think he's going to be looking really good. He doesn't have to worry about that this week though, which is nice, especially with him having Achane. That's a tough situation that I'm dealing with. Luckily, I have Jalen Wright, but it's a Monday night game and everything. So, yeah, he has the heavy hitters for sure. He has a lot of them on that team. So what real quick before we move on, what did you think of that trading away JSN, the number 1 wide receiver according to Keep Trade Cut, the number 2 fantasy asset in Superflex? It's Josh Allen and then JSN. What did you think about him trading him away for Rashee Rice and Davante Adams? Do you think it was a smart move for a contending team?
Yeah, I do actually. Not a crazy like difference in age between Rice and JSN. Obviously,
Yeah.
like I don't know their actual ages. I don't have them pulled up right here, but like they're relatively close. Like either one are old.
Yeah.
Rice has been awesome since he's been playing. He's on a great offense. So. And obviously Davante Adams, the aging asset, like that's the depth piece, right? Like you're starting Davante Adams over, some RB2 on a team, not an actual RB2 fantasy wise, but like, or whoever he was starting,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, I think that's a great move. It's a strong win now move for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't even really mind it that much long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was again, you need starters in this league, and Rashee Rice has been playing just as good as JSN since he's been playing, and Davante Adams is like a top 5 wide receiver himself. So I think it was a very ballsy move. Don't think a lot of people would have done it, but I do think it was the right move for both teams to make that move. So we'll give Dad's team a little bit of love here. You guys all know the story with our dad and stuff, and we've been setting his lineup. I don't think there was any trades made, at least during the season with him and this team. But he also has a pretty damn good team. Like just looking at his starting lineup and stuff like that. Like obviously drafting, getting Rico Dowdle and stuff like that has really helped him. And his Lions guys. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on Dad's team overall, but it is a very formidable team, and that's why he went 21-7 and was the second highest scoring player in this league without any waiver moves really either. I don't know if that would have helped him at all, but he kind of survived the injury bug a little bit though, that's for sure. So should we just move on to Brandon's team?
Sure.
So Brandon, Nipsey Hussle here is in the 4th seed. Was kind of in contention there for the 2nd seed for a while. I don't know if the last couple of weeks his team kind of tanked a little bit, but he's right there. He scored basically just as much as you, about 100 less, which is, one really good week. Two solid weeks of production there and stuff like that. A couple of trades that he made, only a few. I made a trade with him. I traded him Daniel Jones and Aaron Jones. Didn't realize it was the 2 Joneses. And I got back a 27 first, a 26 second, as the big old Thunder Blast goes. I don't know if that picked up on the mic or not, but
yeah, a little bit.
Anyways, I traded him Daniel Jones and Aaron Jones for a 27 first, a 26 second, and Alec Eilmanor. Obviously, as of right now, that doesn't look great, but I do think it kind of got him to that point with getting Daniel Jones for sure. Like really helped him throughout the season because he didn't really have a third quarterback. So, especially when Stroud was out and stuff like that. He traded recently. He gave away Kincaid and got Diggs and Goddard. And then I didn't even realize until I was looking at the chat or the trade history, he acquired Derrick Henry today and did it for a 26 first. So I think that's a solid move for a team that's trying to go all in and win. He traded away his first. He got Derrick Henry. Thoughts on Brandon's team? Unbiased thoughts on his team now that he adds Derrick Henry to the lineup?
Terrible team. No, I like the moves. Brandon knows how to play. Like he's been playing Dynasty with us for 4 years now, and we've all been trying to like kind of figure it out along the way. Every league's different. Obviously, like this is a lot deeper than what we play in our home league. And I think just like seeing how the season has kind of like played out has really kind of like I don't know, more or less like shown you like how important like some of this this depth really is. Like he's actually got some decent starting pieces on his bench, which is great. So he'll be formidable. He doesn't have that third quarterback anymore with Daniel Jones on IR now, but
you don't need it for a 3-week stretch, right? Or a 3-week run, right? No buys and everything.
Ideally, yeah. I acquired, we skipped over my team. I acquired a third quarterback, actually a second quarterback. I actually kind of forgot that. It's funny because early on in the season, I had, I think 6 or 7 starters due to like injuries and everything like that in this league. And I was down to 1 this year, this week upcoming with Jaden Daniels already ruled out, Flacco lost his job, so on and so forth. So I got offered, I didn't even go out there to look for this, but I got offered Aaron Rodgers for Mac Jones. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I didn't really want to give up Mac Jones like in any league that I have him, but it's like, well, this is kind of a different sort of situation. So hopefully he can weather the storm. There is no trade deadline. I don't know if you mentioned that. So he'll have opportunity to like get somebody if he really needs it. Well, I guess he's got Kenny Pickett also now with Geno most likely not playing. So
yeah, I think it was already said that Geno wasn't going to play. Maybe it was like he was leaning towards that way, but
yeah, he's doubtful. So
I was going to give you a few minutes at the end here if you wanted to talk about your team. But yeah, I did notice that as well with Brandon. Like you look at his bench, like compare that to Brando's team. Obviously the quarterbacks have big projected points, but like you look at the other players, it's like you have a couple guys that are double digits and that's about it. 2-3 guys. Like Brandon's team, it's like a bunch of guys on his bench that are like Tyrone Tracy, Aaron Jones, Tucker, Algier, Vele, Keenan Allen, like all these guys are projected at least for that. So he does have a pretty deep team. And he has a good starting rosters too. Now that he's added, Derrick Henry and Diggs to this team over the last couple of weeks, I think, and plus he's plugging, Terry McLaurin back in and stuff like that. So I think he has overall pretty solid team there. Meatball, Blackfeet Dan made a decent amount of trades, 5 trades. Oh, by the way, Brandon's I didn't even talk about Brandon's rookie draft. He didn't get much help from his rookies, Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo, and Alec Eilmanor. So not a whole lot going on there for rookie production this year. Meatball, Dan, Blackfeet Dan's team made some trades in the beginning, probably lost on this one. He traded away Pickens, a third and a fourth. He got Josh Downs in 2 seconds. obviously what Pickens has turned into, you probably regret that a little bit, but that's dynasty. He made a trade and got Trevor Lawrence. He traded away a first and second and got Trevor Lawrence. And that was back on September 11th. So right at the beginning of the season, that was probably equal value on both sides there. He traded away. He got Jalen Warren for a second round pick. I think I got that right. Maybe I mixed that up, but pretty sure he got Jalen Warren for a second round pick. He got T. Higgins and Jalen Hurts. He traded away Lawrence, BTJ, and a 26th fourth. Pretty interesting trade there. And then he gave away Jalen Warren again, and then traded and got Ertz, Pollard, and a 26th fourth. Those were basically all his trades. And that was on September 30th there. So just kind of looking through his team here. I mean, again, the starting lineup is pretty filled out for the most part. You got Jacobs, Hurts, Jacobs, Chase Brown, Zay Flowers, Justin Jefferson, Waller, what he's doing, Pollard, as we just saw what he did last week, T. Higgins, Monungai's been good and startable, Chris Rodriguez, Kareem Hunt. Not as many heavy hitters for sure. I mean, you got a couple there. Hopefully in Hurts, he doesn't go negative. Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson. Like this team going into the season, I would have been like, this is a really, really good team. It hasn't really performed maybe quite to manage to make the playoffs. Did he have any IR guys? Doesn't look like it. Sam Laporta, he lost. I actually was talking to him about a potential trade here. So, yeah, he's going to have to get guys to get hot. He's going to need his studs to really go off, and he's going to need, Jefferson to return and Zay Flowers to overperform. But it can happen, right? It can happen for a 3-week stretch. That's all you're asking for. So, thoughts on Dan's team, Meatball? I think he's here with us too.
I think definitely, like you said, like there's a lot of guys here that can get hot at the right time, like just between Hurts, Jacobs, Chase Brown, Higgins, it's like, and Baker, it's like, that's great, and you're backing that up with Monungai, who's been playing well. Zay Flowers, I think I might have skipped him, and solid enough pieces starting everywhere else in such a deep format. Looking good. I think it can be sneaky. It sucks that he lost Laporta and Ertz just this past week, with Ertz out for the season.
I got Mark Andrews again.
What's that?
I said I got Mark Andrews for you. Unfortunately, Mark Andrews didn't. He's playing the Bengals, man. They give up the most points to tight end. So just saying, Mark Andrews this week could be awesome. Anyways, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, he kind of, I think he was confident in Hurts, and I kind of agree with him to be confident in Hurts, but now he's done.
Sure. Overall, I think not comparing him directly to like other people who didn't make the playoffs, but it's like, yeah, like in such a deep format, it's like all of these guys are startable for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, again, you're going to need guys to overperform. Like you need Higgins to go off. You need Justin Jefferson to be what we drafted him to be. A couple big games here, and crazier things have happened for sure. By the way, his rookie draft, he drafted Colston Loveland, Bashal Tootin, Jaden Blue. I put Sanders. I'm pretty sure that's Shedeur Sanders, but then I'm looking and I don't see Shedeur Sanders on the team. Oh, maybe. I don't remember who the Sanders was now. Dan, if you're, I think you're here, let us know. By the way, all his picks are basically intact for next year. And Brashard Smith. So he has some interesting guys for the future. Not a huge impact on his team this year with those guys, but 4-week losing streak heading into the playoffs. You don't have any faith. That's tough too, right? You're on a 4-week losing streak. That is, it's tough, but it doesn't matter now. All you need to do is have a 3-game winning streak. So, doesn't matter. You're in. So, But yeah, I mean, he made some interesting trades for sure, and I bet you if you asked him about the Pickens trade, Dan, you can let us know. Like you probably regret that, but again, you're not. What are you supposed to know? Like you got to take these risks, So, David, we talked about it. Kind of just snuck into the playoffs a little bit. At the sixth seed, only made a couple trades this year, like non-startup trades and stuff. Burrow and a 26th third away, and he got Jordan Love, DJ Giddens, and a 27 second. That was on September 23rd, so that was like right when Burrow got hurt, I believe. So, and then he also traded away Devontae Adams. This one looks tough. He traded away Devontae Adams. I think maybe he was thinking he wasn't going to compete this year. I'm not 100% sure. By the way, I totally got Dan's rookie draft wrong. It was Trey Harris, Jalen Royals, and Quinn Ewers. The one I said was actually David. My bad. So that's why I didn't see Sanders on there, because there's Shedeur Sanders there. He traded away Devontae Adams. He got Isaiah Likely, Jalen Brooks, Luther Burden, and a 28th third. So looking back on it now that you're in the playoffs, and I think he mentioned this to me, that Devontae Adams is one of his favorite players of all time, he regrets that trade. But, if you were thinking you weren't competing at that point, maybe it's not the worst thing. I mean, you get an interesting prospect in Luther Burden and stuff, but he's definitely like the weak link of this group, I mean, maybe him and Dan, in the sense of like maybe their team's not quite up to snuff, but at this point it doesn't matter. Thoughts on David's team?
Yeah, like it is gonna be a little bit tough sledding, like you mentioned. Or wait, was it him or wait, was it Dan that had the 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, that was Blackfeet Dan, Meatball.
Yeah, I mean, at least one of them was only by a couple of points, but like Mike said, like it doesn't really matter. You already made it, so just see how it plays out. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be like trading anything if I'm Dan, as far as like trying to like make a push. It might be a little late for that. I think I'd rather just kind of hold on to my picks and kind of just like see if you get lucky. It's rough not having London this week, but he hasn't even slotted Kittle back in coming off the bye, so that's going to help his starting lineup just in general. But you'd like to see a little more. Maybe try and think about maybe going after someone aging. I'm trying to think, like off the top of my head.
We were talking a lot because I was like, doing what I do and trying to get trades and stuff like that, and trying to say like, hey, like I'll trade you some pieces, push the playoffs. He kind of, he took the approach of, I'm just going to see what happens. Yeah. And he also he was playing Pete, and if Pete's still here, Pete was finished last in this league in terms of the record, and Idol was playing Dad's team, so he kind of like benefited there in the terms of the matchups. I don't think that obviously everyone plays everyone and stuff like that, but in terms of that point in the season, so
right,
I think he's kind of taking that approach of like, hey, I'm on like borrowed money here, kind of, and I still have my first for 26. I think him and Dan, do you still have your 26 first? You do, okay. So the three of you guys still have your, and Dad's, of course, maybe Brandon. It's funny, like a lot of these teams that made the playoffs didn't trade their first round pick, which is always ideal, right?
Yeah. I mean, in a startup, it's always kind of hard. Like, you never really know if your team's that good, like going through, like you get a sense if you get off to a hot start, but that can go sideways pretty quick, especially in such a deep league with buys and everything, like where it's like, man, like I'm starting these guys, like,
yeah.
But obviously your picks are only getting, well, I guess they're kind of like low value right now in terms of like, they can't help you win. But I mean, there's a lot of hungry teams out there too, given no trade deadline and stuff. So ideally you'd want to be able to get a few more like like a little more support starter wise, but you could just let it play out. Love can have good games. Obviously, like we're hoping Saquon can get back to like what he did last week. His schedule doesn't look terrible. So that'll be a huge boost. Jonathan Taylor's obviously like carry a heavy load. Isaiah Likely coming back into his own these last couple of weeks. Tight end premium, so it's not completely dire, but you're gonna need some guys to overperform for sure.
Yeah, I mean Barkley and Taylor, right, are like the two big ones there. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, obviously other guys could, but it'll be fun to see. He's playing upset there. If he doesn't win, hey, maybe he looks to trade a guy like Saquon Barkley, who maybe will be coming off of 2 good games, and teams that are in the semifinals could be like, yeah, I'll add Saquon Barkley to my team, and he could get a little bit of a haul there. So he's in a brawl. I don't want to spend too much time on the non-playoff teams. I think that's a little bit more for like the off season. I also don't want to just brush over them. I know we have some of them watching as well. What I'll say about Idol's team, he probably technically he should be in the playoffs in the sense he was the 5th highest scoring team. He was the 5th highest. He outscored in terms of he outscored both David and Meatball and in both points for and max points for. But obviously that's not the name of the game and stuff like that. It's not like he had, a crazy amount of points against him either. I'm not 100% sure what happened there and stuff like that. But I know he was kind of trying to push to make it. He made some trades here. He got Garrett Wilson for 2 firsts. I think that was from Dad, maybe. I can't remember. We talked about the Pickens and Josh Downs trade, so that really helped him, getting George Pickens there. He got Derrick Henry and Tyler Warren, and then he just turned Derrick Henry back into a first. He traded a first and Tajay Spears for Rondé Gadsden, tight end premium league and stuff. He has a pretty good team. He's definitely a favorite to win the Toilet Bowl, which is a extra 2nd round pick. The 213. So, I mean, you just look at some of his guys and stuff, like you kind of see where it went wrong a little bit. Some rookies that didn't perform maybe until later, like RJ Harvey, Kenneth Walker, not quite what we wanted him to be, this year and stuff like that. So I think his team's in a pretty good spot. He has some good capital. He has 5 picks in next year's draft. And he still has some pretty good building blocks here in Garrett Wilson, Bryce Young, Justin Herbert, Pickens, Harvey, Warren, maybe Walker if he goes to another team, McConkey. I think he's in a pretty good spot here. You want to give like a minute on Idol's team? Again, don't want to spend too much time on the.
Yeah, no, I mean, just to echo what you said, like he's got a lot of young talent for sure. A few guys that their situation can get a lot better too. Like we don't know what's happening with Ken Walker next year, so yeah, like I think his team is looking pretty good going into next year for sure.
I mean, you just had a couple starters there, like where you're starting, Chiga Okonkwo and stuff like that. Like that team's really, really good with some youth to it. As well, and he's here. Couldn't pull it together. But me and Idol probably. I mean, how many weeks did we talk about a trade, Idol? It was for a while. It was every single week we were talking. We just couldn't get to the agreement of like where we both felt like it was fair. A lot of like DK Metcalf and Jalen Waddle in the conversations and stuff like that, and that's fine. Like and if you don't feel like you're getting fair trade or what you want, then like don't make it. And we both kind of felt that way. And so yeah, I mean, he just couldn't pull it together. Funny enough, like I mean, his team could have been kind of a dangerous team going into it. He has some heavy hitters that are kind of coming on too. So his team's in a good spot though overall for sure. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. for the future. Sniper's team, man, a roller coaster year. He traded a lot in the startup to move up. And yeah, Idol says trade discussions were all fun. Unfortunately, Rome and Wilson hurt me, but they hope they can help me in the future. Yeah, the Roma Dunze not playing last week. Garrett Wilson not playing. Yeah, that really hurt him going into that final matchup there where he needed a win. So, kind of a roller coaster for Sniper's team for sure. And we'll be talking more about these teams in the offseason for sure. He traded a lot in the startup, like moving up to get kind of heavy hitters. I was kind of saying, I think this league, you want to diversify a little bit. Like, the heavy hitters, you got to have more than just a couple of them. You got to have a full roster. I give him credit though. Like, I think he made a lot of good trades. He's actually has a co-owner as well. He kind of went through, I remember, I think it was like 2, 3, 4 weeks in, he was like, all right, I'm rebuilding. And then he started to make trades to get his, and he started to make a run, and he just kind of fell short there after the last couple of weeks. But, he's made some good trades. Basically, well, since he's been out, he acquired JSN. He got a first for Darnold. I kind of like that trade on both sides. He got Kincaid for Diggs and Goddard. Like, he's kind of capitalized, and I'm sure he's going to keep, making moves here. He has some big pieces here: Genti, JSN, Puka Nacua, BTJ. If these guys can get back to it, he needs to kind of figure out that other quarterback spot. Maybe it's Phillip Rivers. But overall, he's getting some of his picks back. He traded basically all his picks, but he has 2 next year, and he's, hopefully going to get some more back here. But yeah, it was fun with Sniper. It made a lot of trades, man. He was very active, and it was a lot of fun to kind of see the strategy kind of change and pivot mid-season and then pivot again. So, yeah, by the way, his rookie draft was Genti, Luther Burden, Jalen Milroe, and Jarquez Hunter. So, any thoughts on Sniper's team? He wants to trade. All his guys are open. You going to trade for Puka Nacua or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. No, yeah. I mean, he's got solid pillar pieces for sure, right? Yeah. Like the depth isn't quite there. I mean, his starting roster outside of a second quarterback isn't even that bad, right? But there's not a whole lot on his bench to really trade away that's going to be attractive to most people. Again, like not a lot of picks for the future, but honestly, like one of my favorite things that I've done so far in Dynasty is adopt an orphan team. And over the last 3 years, this is the 3rd season with it, like kind of like tore it down to the studs and just rebuilt it slowly. That can be a lot of fun too, like, especially if you're in multiple leagues, like it can be a little discouraging if it's only your one league and you're like, well, I guess I'm just going to lose here for 2 years, like,
yeah.
But yeah, I think, like, again, nice solid pillars to build off of.
Yeah, and he made some big trades, man. He traded away Jamar Chase in this league on July 30th. He got Diggs, Evan Ingram, T. Higgins, and Rashee Rice. So I think maybe he maybe realized, I need to kind of diversify. In a league like this, I don't think that's a bad trade because you're getting, theoretically 4 starters for one, and that is probably going to be better in this league, He did make kind of a head-scratching one, I think, that I didn't love, and I remember this one back on September 26th. He traded away Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter, 2 firsts from 27-28 and a second for Zach Ertz, Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Bill, Corey Krusky-Merritt, and a 26 second. That one was a little bit interesting, maybe. Waiting for that BTJ bounce back for sure. But that trade there, I kind of understand it. Like the Bill hype was pretty high there. And he said that exactly. And that hype was there. And it looks better if like that played out. But, again, that's Dynasty. I've made terrible trades. We've all made terrible trades. And you got to shoot your shot. Like you can't, you get, this is how you make trades done is like you kind of have to like have a feeling on players, because once players are producing, it's like people want the moon for them and stuff, right? So that late second is okay, and so that late second he got back was he's kind of considering it.
Yeah, it's
That
201.
second is the 201, 202
202.
in this league, yeah. So it's essentially a first if you want to look at it that way. So he traded. He got Devontae Adams. We talked about that trade earlier. He traded away Higgins and Hurts and got Lawrence BTJ in a 26th fourth. So he made some moves, man, and I really like the trades that he made to once he knew he was out of it. So getting JSN, getting a first, getting Kincaid, I think those are really smart moves to make. And again, he still has pieces, man. He can get hauls for these guys, Puka, JSN, Genty, if he wants to. He can get major hauls for these guys for sure. So, but yeah, again, we'll be talking a lot more about these teams as we move along. We got a whole nother league to talk about. So real quick with red zones, not a whole lot to talk about. And P, I always don't know how to say his name, P. Seeley.
Yeah, I just call him Seeley. I was going to say, I mean, it was just injury bug for him, right? Like he got hit pretty hard with it. Luckily, he has a couple of firsts, like his own and Mr. Brando's. But I mean, it's tough to survive this many injuries. He can come back with a vengeance next year, especially if Trey Benson is the starter for Arizona. We don't know what's happening with James Conner. Travis Hunter plays like what we started to see a little bit there before his injury. Scattaboo, Kendre Miller could have a bigger role. These are all guys that can be like starters. It'll really help fill out that roster, and not even including like all the guys he has in his actual starting lineup. So I think he's gonna be better next year. It just didn't work out this year.
Yeah, and the only trade I saw that he made was he traded me AJ Brown and a third for the 103, 104. It was essentially a Marion Hampton. So he traded me AJ Brown and a third for Marion Hampton. So honestly, looking back on that, I'd probably want a Marion Hampton at this point. So, but that could easily change in next year if AJ Brown gets on another team. He had a haul in the rookie draft: Marion Hampton, Travis Hunter, Tetero McMillan, Cam Scattaboo, Ferguson, Terrence Ferguson, Jordan James, Savion Williams. So, Seeley, if you're here and you have any other comments, you can let us know. But Garlic Bread's team, Chisholm in my pants, a lot of trades here, and I think some of the ones that he made, like he traded a first for Dontavian Wicks and Zach Charbonnet. That doesn't look great at this point. That was back on April 18th. So if you believed in Wicks at that point and Charbonnet, it's not the worst thing, but it obviously didn't work out. He traded away Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He got a second and a dart throw, LaQuint Allen. I traded him Aaron Rodgers in a third for Marvin Mims. He definitely won that trade. We talked about the Lawrence trade. We made a big trade. He gave me Marvin Harrison in a second for Matthew Golden and Judkins. So that was an interesting one. I think that one is a little bit too early to see if it, who's going to win there. But again, doesn't have a first coming up for this year. I have his first. He's actually the 101, which hurts. He traded away the 101 at some point. I don't know where I got the 101, to be honest, or how I got it, but I got it somehow. And he did trade his another first, I think, that he had for he traded it for Sam Darnold. So, which I don't think is a bad trade there. Traded in the rookie draft. That's right. Because I got a haul from Sniper. I traded the 101 and got like 3 picks from Sniper. And so that was like the 107 or something like that. Let's see here. That was the 109 that he drafted Caleb. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough, man. But again, that's what's fun to look back on these sometimes. Like you literally traded the 101 for this year for Caleb Johnson, and what is Caleb Johnson worth right now, right? Like kind of crazy, right? But I think it's easy to see where things went wrong. He still also has some big players here, and like Gibbs, he has some decent quarterback depth there, and hopefully he can add to it and stuff. What do you think about Garlic Bread's team, John?
Oh, I was like John. I was like John's in this league. Yeah, I think like overall, like it's gonna. Wait a second. This is the right team. Like I'm looking at the wrong thing. Again, like I like his starting lineup for the most part this year. Like I think he could be a sneaky, like get that extra pick. Just given like his starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, like you never know how these trades are going to play out. Like not a ton of depth, but I mean, there's always next year. Malik's going to be back. Eric All's going to be the shit for Cincinnati because Gesicki's old. Just looking at his IR, like you're really hoping, obviously, for Golden. It's not looking great, but we don't know what the next season for the Packers are going to be like. So we'll have to just kind of wait and see. I mean, Dobbs, do you think they're going to pay Dobbs? I mean, I know they paid Watson for this year, but different players. So I don't know. It'll be kind of interesting to see if that ends out. And don't be discouraged by, guys not producing in their rookie year because we've been a little spoiled when it comes to that. So just hang in there.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking at it like he has Darnold, Shuck, who's I think has proven he can be something. Michael Penix, who's on IR, he has Neighbors on IR, so that's obviously a major piece there. Like you said about Golden, maybe Caleb Johnson finally, maybe he figures it out at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Like, what's that?
I'm going to say, what do you think about him last night trading me Aaron Rodgers? Because I mean, I think Rodgers before the season said like, oh yeah, this is going to be the last one. Like we've heard that before from different guys. And, I kind of believe Rodgers, but I guess we'll have to see. But he traded me Aaron Rodgers for Mac Jones, which I think is like could really turn into something, like,
yeah.
Like he could end up somewhere with a starting job. He's obviously proven himself this year to be a perfectly like serviceable to actually even good backup quarterback. And those guys aren't cheap in general. Like he's like basically one of the better ones in the league right now. Which I don't know if we would have thought that pre-starting some games in Jacksonville last year. So. Apparently, he just had to get away from Belichick to be good.
Yeah, and I mean, 3 weeks ago, it says Mac Jones emerges as trade candidate for 2026. No, I agree. I think, John Garlic Bread is doing what he can to kind of shore up his quarterback room. Like, he went out and got Darnold. He traded for Mac Jones for, trading. He doesn't need Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers retires, maybe there's a chance Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire, but I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah, for sure.
In a rebuilding team. And now he potentially, if Mac Jones lands a job, goes to the Vikings and competes against McCarthy, you have, assuming Shuck keeps the job, you have 4 quarterbacks. That's really powerful in a super flex league. Just so much you can do with that. So not a lot of people are going to have 4 quarterbacks. So he's doing, the right moves he needs to make. So, pick up some more dart throws, use these picks. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks next in the 26 draft, 2 seconds, 2/3, and a fourth. So do something there with those. And, the 201 is essentially a first round pick. A lot of people view it that way. So that's kind of his first round pick in the draft. Maybe guys like Jack Bech, also start to click, who, by the way, had a good game last week. So there's potential there for sure. So, and then Pete, I want to say has made the most trades in this league. Definitely the most trades post startup draft. Just kind of wheeling and dealing. I think Pete pretty early on went into rebuild mode. I forget exactly. And Pete, you can tell us, if that was, I want to say like you kind of knew going in that you were going to be like kind of rebuilding this year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he made moves, and I like a lot of the moves he made. I think Pete, and again, tell me again, like it's your like first or second year into Dynasty as well, but it doesn't seem like it with some of the moves that he makes, So he got some pieces. I'm trying to look at the big ones here. I mean, he got Jamar Chase in that big trade. So that was pretty nice, especially for like a team that wasn't trying to compete potentially, just getting a heavy hitter like that. Daniels to you, and got Jordan Love and Cam Ward. That's an interesting trade. Would you still make that trade right now?
Yeah, I would actually. I mean, like without the context of like, well, like, I mean, I'd rather have the 2 starters in the playoffs, right? Like, but overall, like, I think it was a good move for both of us. I know like the league kind of like exploded a little bit, like why? Like, and it's like, well, it kind of played out in his favor, in Pete's favor, right? It's like he knew he needed to like diversify some of that high end asset of with Jaden Daniels, and he got 2 starting quarterbacks out of it. And Jordan Love is no slouch, and then Cam Ward's obviously, he's a rookie, so a lot of potential there. Like we've seen some flashes from him, like not the best rookie season, but still, like that's kind of the stuff you need to make, or the kind of deals you need to make when you're so thin in a super flex league. Like,
and just looking at his team, man, a lot of like building blocks: Burrow, Ibuka, Chase, Bowers, Dak Prescott is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be a good player for a while. Cam Ward. Anyone else that we're missing here on the IR or anything? Not quite, but those are good names. And you combine that with Pete has 2 first-round picks in every draft in 26, 27, and 28, including, he has a couple, he has 3 thirds next year, 3 fourths next year, a couple thirds in 27. So, like, he has a lot of capital, which he can trade, which he can draft. He did kind of say he knew he drafted too many young guys, and so he was kind of going for the year 2. Bench is thin, sure, but like, a lot of those, and people kind of like third round picks, fourth round picks, whatever. When you're starting 12 players, man, third round picks matter, fourth round picks matter. Like, you just go back to the draft this last year. I mean, Harold Fannin was a third round pick. George Sanders, Tyler Shuck, Devin Neal, fourth round picks. Woody Marks,
Bannon
for a little bit.
Bannon?
Yeah, Bannon was a third round pick. So, like, those matter for sure. So, it sucks he didn't get the 101. He just missed out on the 101 by not too many points, and stuff like that. Like that, just the idea of having the 101 is always powerful in its own right. But he has two first round picks. I think it's the 102, and then Snipers is the 105 or 6. I think it's the 105. So he has 2 top 5 picks in this draft coming up, and you add a couple studs there, whether it's through your draft picks or trading, and your team is starting to round out there with a lot of studs for sure. Let's see what Pete's saying. His bench is thin. He says, I know I drafted Daniels in the startup, but his legs so skinny, I need depth. And one of the reasons you make that trade is you say, I'm putting my chips on 2 players rather than 1 for the reason if this guy gets hurt. Like, that's one of the reasons why you make that trade. And it literally, like you said, it played out that way. So, yeah, you want to kind of see. Yeah, that's always an interesting conversation that we can talk about in the offseason. Like, do you start to trade, like, undersell guys to try and get the 1-on-1? I don't think so. So, yeah, I think you made a lot of good moves, Pete, for sure. You had a good rookie draft. I mean, you got Ibuka, you got some interesting players. You got Gadsden. I think you kind of capitalized on Gadsden a little bit. I don't mind the trade on either side, but getting a first for Gadsden, I think, was a good move. And not to say he's not worth a first, but I just think it's a good move on both sides. And so, yeah, I think it's you got the hardest position kind of locked down with Burrow, Prescott, Ward. So, he did trade Love later on for Burrow for that trade. So I think it was smart moves for sure. And I'm excited to see kind of where it goes in the offseason, where there should be more trades happening, or even during the playoffs. So any last thoughts there on Pete's team, or Pete, any last thoughts on your team?
Just while he's typing something, if he's saying anything at all. Yeah, lots of fun. I think, yeah, like you said, like Pete leaned into the rebuild pretty early, which is it's always nice to see, like, kind of like, you never really know in the startups, right? Like how it's going to go. And so it's kind of fun to see someone kind of doing the legwork of, kind of wheeling and dealing and stuff. And obviously, yeah, lots of draft capital here. Huge benches, huge starting lineup. So it'll be exciting to see, like, what happens in 26 and 27 for our native Aussie here.
Yeah, and we will definitely be talking, more about these leagues and teams in the off season when we have a little bit more time too. So appreciate you, Pete. Real quick, I don't want to spend too much time. It's already going to be a long stream. So my team I was super excited about this team. I was very deep. I think I had guys like DJ Moore and Cooper Kupp at the time, like, on the bench, and I was like, oh my God, this team's so deep. I'm gonna just tear this league up. I made a lot of dynasty startup trades to get a lot of, like, fill out my roster. I'm very excited about this team overall. I have a lot of good pieces. I have a lot of good capital. So I don't want to spend too much time on my own team, but I have 2 firsts coming up. I have 2 firsts in 27. I'm really, really excited. I have 4 seconds. Super excited about this team to just kind of, like, see where it goes in 2026. And I think I have a decent chance. I'm not the favorite, but I have a decent chance at winning the Toilet Bowl and getting a 5th, 2nd round pick. So you want to say anything on your team?
Way better than your team for sure. I could just look at it.
Oh no!
Now, in
playoffs.
Well, no, yeah, I think, definitely, I didn't think this team was gonna quite go the way it did. Like, I went very light on rookies. I just kind of did a little bit of just kind of tried to stick to my board a little bit, in the draft, obviously very receiver heavy. So yeah, I mean, no real complaints, it is PPR and we're starting so many of these guys. Got a little lucky throughout the season, filling in, basically having Rachaad White come in as my RB2, when I needed it the most, because I really didn't have one, and then the big bid on Vidal really helped, carry me through. But yeah, overall, pretty happy. Obviously, my trades for the seconds for Kupp and Kamara didn't quite work out, but I mean, Cooper Kupp was kind of our dude going into the season as like an undervalued guy, and I guess everyone else was right and not us on like what he would actually produce. It's kind of hard when you're sharing the field with, you know, the best receiver this year in football. But it could still, like, I don't know if his career is like completely over yet, but it certainly looks that way given, like, you know, just didn't quite bounce back from the injury from last year. So next year, Cup, next year. Yeah, overall, I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm glad to have played in it for sure.
Yeah, and you're playing David, who has nothing to lose, so pressure's on there for you. All right, into our other league here, and this is our Zeus League. We had another team that was kind of clear-cut best team in CAS. And CAS in the startup draft drafted a lot of draft picks. A lot. He just kept doing it and doing it. I think that's why his name is the Fever, because he's like, I can't get past that. By the way, Marv, I see your trade in there. I will get to that after we talk about startup league here. But then I was kind of looking. I was like, okay, so CAS made a lot of trades, right? Like he made a lot of trades because, like, no way, this rookie class didn't do a whole lot to help you this year. Just across the board, and not really. I mean, he acquired Bijan for like 3 first-round picks, which is kind of what you need to do to get Bijan. He got Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and Tyler Algier. So he didn't really make a lot of trades, and he just drafted really well when you look at his team. He got JSN, Amon-Ra. Obviously the rookies did help him: Judkins, Dart, Sampson, Noel Giddens, Marks, Jarquez Hunter, Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, and Aronde Gadsden. But he just like drafted really, really well, getting like Hurts and Stafford, the Dart in the draft, having JSN and Amon-Ra, trading for Bijan. I mean, his team is clearly better. Outplayed everyone in this league by, he outscored, I think Rip Lips was the second by almost, 130-ish points or something. So, and he was like locked up the number one. He locked up the playoffs, I think, first out of anyone in our listener leagues. And he got the first seed like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Like, it was just like, okay, everyone else is playing for second, during the regular season. So he has the bye week. And yeah, his team is, still, and this goes to show you, like, these deep leagues, like, even though he's like clearly the best team, he's still starting guys like, Chris Rodriguez and Darren Waller and stuff like that. So potentially, I don't know if maybe someone was on his bench here, but
he's got Franklin, Gadsden, and Marv if he plays.
Yeah.
Just lost Ertz, so he had guys, or
sure.
kind of switching around between injuries and things like that. So
yeah, he's clearly the favorite, and Cass, if you're here, you can let us know. But it's going to be tough to beat. Anything can happen. I think I want to say last couple of weeks he's lost. I know last week he didn't. Oh no, he won last week. Okay, I thought for some reason he lost last week, but 2 weeks ago he lost. Anything can happen in a single elimination, stuff like that, which is why you really want that bye. But it's going to be tough to overcome some of these guys. But it just takes Jalen Hurts getting -7 points, right? So, any thoughts on Cass? And by the way, can still add to his team, because guess what? He doesn't play this week. 2 teams in the playoffs right now are going to get eliminated, and those teams have good players. 100%. If I get eliminated, I'm going to be looking to trade Derrick Henry. You add Derrick Henry to Cass's lineup, it looks even scarier. You replace Chris Rodriguez with Derrick Henry, watch out. So like, that's why I like the no trade deadlines. I hope it plays out that way, but like, good teams are going to want to start trading their older players, and they have really good players. So, can still add to that team and has the luxury of not having to compete this year. But yeah, any quick thoughts on Cass's team?
Now, just overall, really good, solid, scary. Don't think I can beat it.
Yeah. Anyone can beat it. But Cass had a lot of. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rookie picks, and he traded 2 away as well. He had 12 rookie picks, and maybe I'm missing one too, but I think he had 12 rookie picks, and it worked out for him. So, that's awesome to see. It's awesome to see the different strategies for sure. Great move by Casper. Bijan ended up being the 26th, 12th pick. Caleb Johnson and Ted McMillan, who was traded for before the draft. So that's what the three first round picks. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to ignore getting 3 first round picks for any player. For any player. So I don't fault you. Was that you, Brendan, that made that trade? It sounds like it is, considering how you kind of knew. I know I wrote down. Oh no, it wasn't you. I think it was someone else. No, it was Benjamin, who made it. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to ignore 3 first round picks for these guys. So
yeah, I mean, that's like no one's ever really going to be worth more than that. That being said, like, I mean, I definitely was offered 3 firsts for Josh Allen in the other league, and I was kind of just like, nah, not in a startup. Like, it's just too wide open. Like, I need a solid player plus like that. So, I mean, 3 firsts doesn't get you anyone necessarily, but it's definitely a way to start the conversation. And we don't know that it's the 26th, 12th round overall pick yet. Right?
True.
I guess it has to be 9th or later.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance it's 12th. But it's either 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. So still a good move for sure.
Only the first 6 picks have been determined.
But Cass won't get eliminated this week. So it's not the 7th or 8th pick either.
Yeah. And by the way, for context, running backs are really good for this league. They're a step above wide receivers, which I'll get to in a little bit here. But Bijan's the 15th best player in this league, and that's including quarterbacks. So I think Cass is here with us as well. Yeah, it was a nice dice roll. And again, like it really worked out for you. It looks like you kind of what's up?
Is Cass his initials? My mind is blown. I just see Christopher Simmons here. So what's the middle name?
Andrew. Or Arthur. Christopher Arthur Simmons. That's a good name. That'd be cool. Seems like, Cass, and you can confirm this, looks like you avoided the injury. I mean, you don't have anyone on your IR. I guess you can put Zach Ertz there if you want, but like that just happened. Like, seems like you avoided the injury bug pretty well. So, I mean, that's part of fantasy. That's part of the luck there. Obviously, there's a lot of skill in fantasy, but, you do need that luck of just not getting injured. So it seems like you escaped there. Yes, I thought it was you. Yeah, max points for is only for the first 6 teams. The top 6 teams will kind of be determined, or the playoff teams will be determined by, people who win money will be the last 3 picks. And then the other 2 picks will be whoever gets eliminated this week will play. The winner of that matchup will get the better pick. They'll get the 107. The winner of the 5th and 6th place, right? 5th and 6th. Yeah. 5th and 6th place will get the 107.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was actually just going to ask that. And no worries, Brandon. Mike didn't explain it because he's a terrible commissioner. No, I'm sure.
Pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was explained, but it's all good. Like, I was just going to ask the whole thing about the 6th or 7th and 8th pick. So whoever gets eliminated this week will play for that pick, right?
Yeah. So whoever
And then-
finishes in 5th place gets the 107. Whoever finishes in 6th place gets the 108. So
Okay.
you want to win. It's just something, something for that matchup to play for in week, even though they got eliminated from the playoffs, they have something to play for in week 16. So you play for a one better pick. So Yacht Possum is up next here, has a bye as well. Interesting team for sure. Didn't make a whole lot of trades. Did get Rico Dowdle and Kenny Pickett, which is going to help them now for a second, a third, a couple dart throws there. That was back in early November. Only had Genty in the rookie draft, but just kind of looking at his team, and again, it just goes back to depth is so hard in this league. Like, I don't know if he's going to be starting all these guys. Obviously, he's not going to be starting like Jerome Ford and stuff, but like in his starting lineup, I assume last week was guys like Jerome Ford and Malik Washington, like the second best team in the league, who I believe was playing for, he was playing for the second seed, so, it's just, if you can really get a lot of depth here, but looking at his bench, I mean, he has like Rico Dowdle and stuff. So, I mean, obviously he got the second seed for a reason. I'm interested to see if he's going to make some moves for some of the eliminated teams that happened. So, Yacht Possum.
Yeah, definitely the nice thing about having the bye, like Mike mentioned when we were talking about the other league, you're going to have 8 teams by the time you have to play anyone to potentially trade with. Nice job backing up Gino with Kenny Pickett, so you're good there. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is in your future. I don't know. He's just the guy who no one thinks he's going to play next year, or he's the least likely to play of next year, who's still a productive enough quarterback to be your QB2. But yeah, overall, like, you might have to make a move or two to like really push those chips in. But then again, if you're playing against me, you'll probably be okay.
I'm kind of looking at this team, and again, this is like more towards like what's up?
No, just ask, like, we can still trade. Yeah, there is no trade deadline, Cass. Like,
man, there's no trade deadline. You could trade literally. It's week 17. You're in the fantasy championship. You are down 15 points, and there's someone playing Sunday night that you can replace someone in your starting roster with that's a stud. You can make that trade and add them into your lineup because you want to get 15 points on Sunday Night Football. Like, there is no trade deadline at all. As teams get eliminated from playoffs, there's a lot of good players on these playoff teams that are going to be, I assume, up for grabs here. So I don't believe in trade deadlines for Dynasty because you should be able to capitalize on players' values whenever you can. And also, teams that get eliminated from the playoffs should be able to kind of, get some value for their players as well, in my opinion. So, you can still make a trade.
Man, I like that. Yacht Possum. He just put up Sam Laporta and his first on the trade block just in the last 2 minutes. So,
yeah, I mean, Laporta's not helping him, right?
Go get those guys.
Yeah, looking at his team though, and again, this is more to like the format of the league. A little surprised he got the number 2 seed, like, because like you had some underperforming players in Montgomery was kind of an underperforming. Breece Hall, Genty, like these guys were still good. I mean, Breece Hall was a top 50 player in this league overall, so obviously he was still good. Genty was a top 40, he was 42nd overall. But maybe guys that we expected a little bit more from that. So impressive that he got it. And yeah, if he can maybe trade a Laporta or something for these guys, it'll be fun to see for sure. Rip Lips, good listener of the channel here. Genty, we did a rookie draft separate here, so Genty was in the rookie draft, so he wasn't in the startup.
Yeah, and I think that pick went mid-second round or towards the end of the second round, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he essentially went in the second round.
Yeah. Rip Lips took the strategy of tight ends and running backs in this league. So he was the second highest scoring team. Just missed out on the number 1 seed there, or the number 2 seed there. Has a really good team, in my opinion. Just kind of looking at the guys he gets. He obviously has like JT. He's getting Omari and Hampton back into this league. He made several trades throughout the year. Nothing huge, like good trades. I mean, he got Derrick Henry and traded away I take that back. He traded away Jaden Daniels, Mariota, and a second for Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Trevor Lawrence, Tyrone Tracy, and Cam Scattaboo. So that was a pretty interesting trade. He kind of diversified Daniels into what he thought at the time 3 starting pieces for 1. And then he also traded me Derrick Henry. We swapped Derrick Henry for Davante Adams here. So 6 for Genty, by the way, Brendan said.
Yep.
But yeah, looking at his lineup, man, I mean, the tight end, I did think it was funny. He made a trade for a tight end back in October, and I was like, why does he need tight ends? Maybe just everyone was hurt. I didn't actually go into because I know he drafted a shit ton of tight ends. You can see it on the roster here. I was like, why is he trading for a tight end? Does he need one? And I think he did. Weirdly enough, I don't know how it all worked out, but I think he has a really strong team. I'd probably put him as second, third favorite to win it all, to be honest. Either second or third there. So what do you think about Rip Lips' team?
Yeah, really good. Like I do remember in the startup, the whole how many tight ends is he gonna take? And obviously it worked out. The super tight end premium really worked in his favor. I was extremely sad. I remember this, Rip Lips. You sniped me, I guess. Not a snake. You're what did Dad call him? Frito Man? Because he
Frito Man, yeah.
He delivers chips. I do remember
he delivers, but he works for Frito Lay.
Oh, okay. Maybe
he does.
Part of in my head. But I do remember, I was like, oh shit, I might get Jonathan Taylor in the 4. And Rip Lips had back-to-back picks. And he took him with the 312. I ended up with Kyron Williams a couple of picks later, but I really looking at I'd have to look back on in the draft specifically, but I was kind of like, oh, I think this actually might happen given how people are drafting. So yeah, obviously super powerful piece there. I have to play you this week, so I hope you have a terrible. I wouldn't mind losing to you because you're a great supporter of all of this, and your team is a lot scarier than mine. So
yeah,
we shall see.
And Yacht Possum's here, and he did mention it seemed like it's the favored running backs and tight ends, and it did. We talked about this league and the wins above replacement WAR tool, similar to WAR in baseball, and how it favors, because it's a half PPR 0.1 per carry, it favors running backs over wide receivers. And that's why I made that trade of Henry for Adams straight up. Adams is wide receiver 5. He's the 30th overall player. Derrick Henry is running back 10. He's the 31st overall player. So essentially, would you just say the wide receiver 5 equals the wide receiver 10 running back 10 in this league. So there's a lot more running backs that are producing at a top 5 wide receiver production overall. So, I kind of lean that way in the draft. I know Rip Lips did as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it kind of showed with Rip Lips teams having a lot of, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, a lot of tight ends, Amarian Hampton back in now. I thought he had a couple more here. He had Derrick Henry there for a couple months, Cam Scadaboo and stuff. So, yeah, he has a pretty good team for sure. Appreciate you, Cass. Yeah, no worries. I know it's getting late in general, so we'll be talking about a lot of dynasty and off season, and then we'll be diving more into these leagues, giving maybe more updates on these leagues when we have a little bit more time. You got an offer, by the way, just so you know.
I see.
But we'll skip over, Dad's team. Once again, he's showing us that he was the brains of this channel. He made the playoffs in both leagues.
Yeah, I did too.
But he got the bye in the other one. And
yeah, he actually was a higher seed in both leagues than me too.
But yeah, he has a pretty good team too. Me, him, and Rip Lips, anyone can win. But I like my team in this league if I can get some couple guys back. His bench at the end here is looking, not bench, but his bottom of his, his last starters on his team is looking a little bit iffy, but also not really. Aaron Jones, Devin Neal, these guys kind of have come on and stuff. So just for the sake of time, Dad has a good team, and we'll see if he actually is the smarter. We're going to skip over us to kind of move a little bit quickly through these teams that didn't make it. Ex Juju, may I bang your wife? He just missed out on the playoffs here. I want to say he outscored you. Oh no, he by 1 point.
Yeah, by a single point.
Yeah, I think he had more max points for or something, but didn't make a whole lot of trades. Actually, just one that I saw since the startup. So had a pretty good rookie draft: Tyler Warren, RJ Harvey, and then some other future pieces in Golden, Arroyo, Io Manor, stuff like that. And you can tell us if you're here, Juju or not. But I was kind of looking at his team and I was like a little bit surprised that he missed. You see Dak Prescott, Drake May, Puka Nacua, Rashee Rice, what he's done, Nico Collins. This looks like a playoff team for the most part. Obviously, you need some depth here, but I think he lost. No, he didn't really lose anyone either. I don't know. It's a little bit interesting. Maybe just not enough guys, not enough depth there producing for him.
Yeah, it must have been a little bit hot and cold in terms of winning actual matchups, right? Where it's kind of funny because I felt like I got a little lucky in this league. I didn't think my team was overall that great, but I did have the most points scored against me, which I was kind of surprised by. I don't really pay attention to that too much unless I'm trying to justify something. So what I'm saying is my team should be better than yours, Mike.
Maybe, but it's not. Actually, I think no, that's not true. I was gonna say I think I'd rather play Rip Lips, but I don't think I would. I think I'd rather play Dad's team, but we'll see. We'll see if that's true there. So yeah, Juju's team has some building blocks for sure. He has all his picks, plus he has an extra second, extra third, extra fourth. So he has a good amount of picks there coming up. And definitely some building blocks there that he can build on. So Juju, if you're here, you can give us any other thoughts that you have. Our friend Smith P, he's in our redraft league as well. Vikings fan, didn't actually make any trades and didn't have any rookie picks. And missed the playoffs here again. A team that has some building blocks here, and BTJ and Bowers are the two big ones, right?
Yeah,
That
Dunze
kind of
and Pearsall are definitely starters
sure.
in this format for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's here, but definitely some pieces here. We'll see what he does in the off season and make some trades, see what you can do. I don't know. Like, I feel like this was a team that probably started off pretty hot. ETN, not Chase Brown, but ETN, Bowers, at least for a game. I don't know. I just feel like potentially he's kind of, Keenan Allen there started off hot and then kind of like tanked out a little bit here. Those guys kind of stopped producing as well as they were. But if you're here, please. I know Benjamin's here. And Benjamin's team, he made a couple trades. He traded away Bijan, got 3 firsts. It was explained to us by Brendan how that all kind of played out here. That here ended up being Caleb Johnson, Tetero McMillan, and who was traded for Garrett Wilson before the draft. And then a 26 pick, we'll see, 9 through 12 and stuff like that. He also traded away a first for Garrett Wilson. Really good trade for him. I think that was with Dad. He traded away a 25 first. I don't remember what that turned into, but was it Tetero? Is that what? Yeah, that's what Brendan just said. So he traded away essentially Tetero for Garrett Wilson, I believe, and I don't mind that trade for him as there either. It's tough that your one rookie pick was Caleb Johnson. That obviously didn't work out this year at all. But we look at his team here. Again, like, I think there's a lot of good pieces here for sure. Like, this doesn't feel like a complete rebuild type of team with James Cook and Bo Nix and Trey McBride, maybe Xavier Worthy, Terry McLaurin, maybe for a couple more years there. What's his quarterback situation? Bryce Young and Nix. And am I missing someone? Bryce Young and Nix.
No, you're not missing someone, but it's always a little weird. Yeah, you got a lot of empty bench spots though too. So fill those bad boys up. Just throw a bunch of backup dudes on there. Trying to fill that up with whoever the hell.
Yeah, I mean, you got Tucker Kraft there, Garrett Wilson as well. Like, that's 5-6 guys there that can really, carry this team. And then, I still believe guys like Pollard, guys like Judy, Dobbs. These guys can be starters still. Like, I know they're not sexy names or anything, but they can have plus seasons and can kind of, fill out that roster for you. When you're looking and trying to compete and stuff like that. So Tej Johnson as well. We'll see what kind of plays out with that. So, and then whatever trade you're about to accept from him too. So, Riley Leonard. He has Riley Leonard. 2 firsts next year. What's that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm super nervous about making any trades in this league just because because I'm playing against the Master of Lips, and I just don't. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like I'm kind of in the same boat as David from our other league, where I'm kind of like I might just play this for this at least this first week to see what happens. So yeah, like we'll see.
And make a move from there. Yeah. I mean, does it involve Trey McBride? Because if it does, you should do it. Yeah. And Benjamin, I know you're here. So if you have any other thoughts on that, but again, you have some building blocks. You have 2 first-round picks coming up. You have your second and third. You have all your other picks from future years. So, you're looking good there in the asset department in terms of the picks and stuff. And we get to our last 3 teams. Proposition Joe, down with Fun and Brendan. Proposition Joe was that team where I was like, man, if you told me I had CeeDee Lamb, I think he might have traded someone. So real quick, no, he didn't. He made that trade with Rip Lips, the Daniels trade, which I liked for him. He got a 4th for Knox, and I traded a 2nd for Mike Evans here. But he was the team. Yeah, he had CeeDee Lamb. I thought there was like 3 guys here. Am I missing? Oh, Jamar Chase. And
Olave.
Yeah, it wasn't Olave though. It was like someone else. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I was like, man, if you told me you had like Lamb, Chase, and this guy going into the season, and like he was kind of out of it pretty early on.
Christian Watson.
I get this, Benjamin, like for sure. I felt that with redraft this year of like the guys that I really, really like this year. A couple of them was just like, man, they just not only just like disappointed, but just outright flat out sucked, So I get it, man. It's tough, but it's why we love fantasy and why we hate it at the same time. But yeah, I thought there was someone else on this team. Maybe I'm again just misremembering. But yeah, he got eliminated pretty early, unfortunately. But I mean, any team that has CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, Jaden Daniels, like CJ Stroud, you should feel pretty good. On top of you don't have your first round coming up, but you do have a couple seconds and stuff like that. Like you should feel relatively okay with those building blocks there. So I know we're not spending too much time on the eliminated teams, more for the offseason, but any thoughts on Proposition Joe's team?
No, I mean, like kind of what I'm noticing a lot of like not the problem, but like kind of like the kind of like a pattern we're seeing with a lot of the teams that are kind of like a little lower on the board. It's a lot of it's the quarterbacks, and like do you have the count of how many quarterbacks actually started this year? Because it always seems like the number's higher than you think. Like, and it seems like we've had a lot this year for sure. But just 2 is just not enough, and there's not 3 for everybody. That's for sure. Like there can be, or I guess there can't be on any given week, but like obviously navigate those waiver wires and stuff like that for these backups. But I mean, he had Mariota and Daniels at the same time, so that wasn't necessarily the case here. Just a little more, just no running backs really. And like the format kind of favors them, so just didn't really work out. Like, I mean, fortunately, running backs are probably the easiest position to trade for in Dynasty, so maybe you can get yourself a couple of them either in the draft or via trade for some of these receivers you got, and you can make a push next year.
Yeah, I can't find the list of how many starting quarterbacks I played, but you only have 2. If you only have 2, it's nice to have Daniels and Stroud for sure as the 2.
Yeah, you can complain.
Yeah, and always think about like we talked about it. You need to fill out 12 starting spots. Think about trading guys like Chase and Lamb to me for J.K. Dobbins and my 3rd round pick. No, but like think about diversifying those guys into 4 starters, like good starters and stuff. And it really could. Feels like it doesn't make sense, but it probably does in a league like this. So, Down in the Fun has the 101. He's excited about that. He beat out, I think it was Brendan.
Yeah.
It was definitely Brendan. And has the 101. I know he's super excited about it. Has made some trades throughout the year. The big one, which I wanted to bring up, I didn't bring up many like rookie draft trades, but he traded away the 201 or the 202 for Joe Mixon to Dad, and that pick became Emeka Ibuka. That pick looks really, really bad, and he's like, I remember him talking about that back in October or something, like, that he got fleeced. And yeah, I mean, at the time he felt good about his wide receivers. Just to give some context, like he felt very good about his receivers. And he didn't have any running backs. And we just talked about it. The format, you need running backs, and so he thought he was kind of getting a starting running back into his roster, and obviously that didn't happen. He did acquire Penix. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I do remember giving Dad shit about that a little bit too, and it's like, well, you could have just taken the pick before you drafted Joe Mixon, I think. So it's like, maybe. why so different now, like a week later or something like that, And I worked out.
Maybe. Did Joe Mixon go before like the 201 or 2? Probably. I don't know.
I think so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt yet, that's for sure.
Yeah. But again, like he has some good building blocks. I made a trade with him. I diversified Penix into Dobbins and Pickens. And then he made that Dowdle trade that we talked about. But he has the 101. He has an extra second, extra third. He has the wide receivers. I think he should feel pretty good about him. McConkey and London, and I just saw Zay Flowers, Gabe Davis, of course, Luther Burden. No, but he has some good quarterbacks here in Ward and Lamar. Penix, so he's pretty good at quarterback. He has three there for sure. So yeah, I mean, for a team that has the 101, I don't think, like, obviously he's not in terrible shape here. So and then yeah, Brendan's team. Here, Brendan, you can give us a little context. I know you're here. Listening and stuff like that, but like kind of what went wrong with your team. Was it Brendan's team? Man, there was someone where I thought, like, how does this team, that bad? Or it might have been, I don't know. But obviously losing Tyreek Hill didn't help. He does have some good capital though. 3 first-round picks coming up is great. And so you have to feel pretty Neighbors. Maybe it was Brendan's team, or it's like, oh, you have like Jefferson, Neighbors, and
Hill.
Else. Maybe it was Hill, yeah. And then like you're already out or something. Neighbors injury and Tyreek Hill, yeah. Yeah, that especially again when it's a startup and you can't fill out a full roster, even with those guys healthy, right? Most people are like that. So but you should feel pretty good. I mean, Travion, Jordan Love, Justin Jefferson, Jameson Williams as a future piece, Neighbors. You should feel pretty solid there. JG McCarthy, we'll see. Plus your 3 first-round picks, like a lot of nice things there to be excited about. So, McCarthy hurt early, never panned out. Yeah, it's hard. And it seemed like, by the way, Brendan really made like one trade. Javonte, he gave away Javonte and Keaton Mitchell for a 26 first. I think that was a solid trade for him. But yeah, any thoughts here? Like prioritize a QB3 probably.
Yeah, I mean that's always easier said than done, right? I was literally just counting through the draft and like, did Mixon go before the 201? And it looks like he did, but just by a few picks, anyways.
Was it the 201?
What?
Was it the 201? Dad traded. I know it was like the 1 or 2, so I guess he probably went
Let's
above those
see.
guys.
It was the one.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. Again, like Neighbors Jefferson, like you got that lockdown. Like we don't know what Hill's going to be next year if he even plays. So obviously, got to take the L on that one. It's a bummer. I've got him in plenty of dynasty leagues, so I feel the pain.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we see a little bit more from McCarthy. Again, we're 7 games into his career, essentially 7 games starting. So don't judge him too harshly. Don't sell him too low. Just hopefully you can kind of understand the game a little better. Just
9.
man. What's that?
His alter ego is 9. Calls it 9. Oh, when 9 comes out, like I get, it's something about like his alter ego being, that's his number, his jersey number 9.
Okay.
He calls it 9, like his when 9 comes out.
Oh,
It's kind of
okay.
weird, to be honest.
So he's a fucking weirdo, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it is a little weird. Yeah, he says, Brendan, by the way, he says he's excited about the 102 and 103. Yeah, I mean, you have to be excited about that. This year is so weird, though, because I have no idea who the 102 and 103. I don't know who anyone is besides, and again, I don't even know. Jeremiah Love, assuming, is the 101 running back for Notre Dame, but he might not be like, he hasn't even officially announced, I don't think. So all the top players this year are not seniors, they're like juniors and stuff. It's going to be very interesting to see. Someone's going to come out, obviously, but got the 103 for the pick that ended up being Jordan Addison in the startup. Nice.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Brendan's on top of it, man. We need Brendan. He keeps track of it pretty well. We need you around more, Brendan, to help us remember all of these. And I know you mentioned he's in a lot of leagues too. So, but yeah, definitely some nice building blocks there. And with the 3 first-round picks is pretty nice. So real quick, it's been a long stream. I'm really excited about my team. I think I need to stop cheating and take Mike Evans off my bench and figure out
here we go.
I'm going to be starting. But no, the reason why I'm excited about it, why can't I can't.
So you think you're going to beat Dad this week? Is that what you think?
Yes. But because I'm not going to start it, I'm going to bench all his players.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah. I'm going to, we've just been going off highest projected player. I'm going to just change that this year or this week and just say like, I think like Tank Dell should be in or whatever. So, no, I just, again, like I'm getting Mike Evans back, Jaden Reed back. Like I think my lineup's like kind of filled out as good as anyone else's. I need my quarterbacks to produce in Caleb and Tua. That's the biggest thing. But Gibbs, Henry, HN if he plays. Luckily, I have Jalen Wright, Bucky, George Pickens, Andrews at my tight end position. Mike Evans, Kenneth Walker. Like, I think I have a shot. I do think I have a legitimate shot in this league. So, and if I move on, I'm going to be looking to add one more piece here. So, yeah, that's all I want to say there.
No, okay. Well, I guess, going off of last night's comment, I guess I don't have to fillet you because you are self-filleting, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that message, and you probably didn't see it until the morning, but that was literally Bree's reaction. Like, I was sitting in bed looking at waivers and stuff, and I'm like, I need to say something to the league. Just kind of like thank everyone. And she like walks out of the bathroom, and she's like, what the fuck? You should suck your brother's dick. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, well, I'm going to tell everyone that, but she's like, no, don't do it. But then she didn't care, obviously.
Yeah. You kind of already talked about your team a little bit, but
yeah, it's going to be a little rough for sure. I don't really feel like super comfortable making any moves, especially if I'm trading any kind of starters that's already in my lineup. You know, like I've already got like, I mean, just based on what I started last week, I've got Jordan Mason and DJ Moore and Dawson Knox in there. It's like that ain't good, you know. It's like I can replace one of them with Hunter Henry, but it doesn't get much better than that. And yeah, so likewise, I'm kind of just like, I don't really want to trade my picks either, you know, like,
Sure.
as I think this could be it. So
I felt the same way about not wanting to trade my first, which I didn't, and I'm happy about. So, do I play Tyler Shuck over Tua?
I don't know who's the matchups. I thought we're not doing start sets.
No, we're not. We're not. We'll talk about that later. Hopefully, Achane plays. I really need him to play. Luckily, I have Jalen Wright, but I really need Achane to play. But the fact that I have Jalen Wright is a godsend because I can actually wait until Monday night. So, but I hear you here, Brendan, for sure. I like that stuff too. So, I do. Marv, if you're still here, we'll get to Marv's and then we'll take traded away to Montgomery, Isle Manor, Judy, Kelsey Hawkinson, and Diggs. Jesus. For a 27, first, second, third, and Juwan Jennings. I made roster space. The league is stingy with trades and always wants to win. Yeah, I know you were talking a lot about like trading Judy and Hawkinson and stuff like that. So
yeah,
you traded a lot. It's I think he said a 14-team start 8, so it's not super deep or anything. I do want to trade for McBride, Benjamin. I will absolutely trade for McBride. We'll talk. We'll talk.
No, he's talking to me. He sent me an offer.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say what it is now.
Maybe he is talking to you actually. Can I interest you in some Kevontae Turpin? Look, busy as wide receiver 1 in week 14 is what it says. Just kidding. But yeah, Marv, I mean, if it's a stingy league, sometimes you have to like undersell or like, you know, pay a little bit more to get trades through. And so like you traded a lot of pieces that might not mean much, and you got a couple good picks there in 27, which should be a good draft. So but yeah, I appreciate everyone, especially our listener leagues. You know, I feel like we didn't give it enough love this year, and that's on me. And we plan to give it more love, and we appreciate you guys a lot. And, you know, you guys are some of our first listeners ever on this channel. And so hopefully we can put together some more listener leagues in the off season and, you know, be around and join us. We need you guys during the off season, talking dynasty rookies and stuff. I know you guys are more into that than probably, you know, start sit stuff and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll join us in the off season. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about these, and I hope you lose in all the leagues. So.
Well, 5 of them I can't lose because I got bye weeks, so suck it.
I just meant in general, lose. Lose to me is not making the championship. So appreciate you, everyone, and I know we'll see you guys in the off season for sure. So it's been a long stream. We're gonna take off. We'll be back tomorrow after the game, going over start sit stuff. So if you need some help there, come on in. So see you guys. Appreciate you all.
Bye.